got to be an FBI investigation to further look into this in a week. But will the president of the United States actually order that FBI investigation? Will Mitch McConnell hold to the deal? Minutes later, the president reacted to that dramatic plot twist during a meeting in the Oval Office.
Mr. President, any comment on the request for a delay from Senator Flake? He wants a one-week delay so the FBI can investigate further.
Well, I'm going to let the Senate handle that. They'll make their decisions, and they've been doing a good job and very professional. I'm just hearing a little bit about it because I've been with the president of Chile, and we're talking about some very important subjects, but I'm sure it will all be very good.
Flake then proceeded to vote with his Republican colleagues to advance Kavanaugh's nomination to the full Senate, conceding that he wasn't attaching any formal strings to the measure. He simply wouldn't support Kavanaugh in the final vote, he seemed to imply, though never quite said, without an FBI investigation. Flake would not be able to block Kavanaugh's confirmation on his own. He's just one vote. Democrats would have to flip at least one more Republican and hold their entire caucus to get to that 51-vote majority. Over the course of the afternoon, Republicans Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins and Democrat Joe Manchin, who's up for re-election in Trump-loving West Virginia, all announced that they, too, supported Flake's move. And so, unable to, quote, plow right through, as Mitch McConnell put it last week, Republicans asked the White House to reopen Kavanaugh's FBI background check. And this evening, the president, who has said that wasn't the FBI's thing, complied. It's safe to assume that right now, at this very hour, FBI agents have begun investigating the allegations against Brett Kavanaugh, and Mark Judge's beach getaway may be coming to an end. That's next.
I get it all the time. Have you lost weight? Of course I have. Ever since I started renting from National. Because National lets me lose the weight at the counter and choose any car in the aisle. And I don't wait when I return, thanks to Drop and Go. At National, I can lose the weight and keep it off.
Looking good, Patrick.
I know. Go National. Go like a pro.
Whether you have a small home project like fixing a garage door or a big project like remodeling a kitchen, HomeAdvisor is always free to use. Compare prices, read reviews, and find the best local pros at HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app.
A lifetime of service to his community, his church, his family. An unblemished reputation. 6 FBI background checks came back clean. With no valid reason to block Kavanaugh, Democrats started a smear campaign. Disgusting accusations. Unproven. Discredited. Kavanaugh denies them. And every single witness agrees with Kavanaugh. It never happened. Don't let a last-minute smear campaign negate a lifetime of excellence.
Wireless for $15 a month. That's not right.
It's right, all right. Carpet showers? That's not right.
That's not right.
Neither is the way you get wireless. Mint Mobile took what's wrong with wireless and made it right. We're easy, online, and just $15 a month. Get your plan today at mintmobile.com.
When heartburn hits, fight back fast with Tums Smoothies. It starts dissolving the instant it touches your tongue and neutralizes stomach acid at the source. Smoothies, only from Tums.
Not long ago, Rhonda started here. And then more jobs began to appear. These techs in a lab, this builder in a hard hat, the welders and electricians who do all of that. The diner stacked up because they all needed lunch. Teachers, doctors, jobs grew of lunch. What started with one job spread all around because each job in energy creates many more in this town. Energy lives here. Healthcare costs keep soaring, but for 42 years, Mike DeWine has stood with the insurance and drug companies driving those costs up. Those companies filled DeWine's campaign war chest as he allowed them to raise drug costs and voted to cut Medicare funding. DeWine even spent his first day as Attorney General suing to allow insurers to deny coverage. For 42 years, Mike DeWine has chosen the big insurance and drug companies over us. A Stronger Ohio is responsible for the content of this advertising.
There's a lot to smile about in every Volkswagen. Hurry in and get a value-packed 2019.
It must be completed no later than 1 week from today. How do you see this going as someone with familiarity with the process?
So I've reviewed hundreds of background reports conducted by the FBI for pending judicial nominations. And in my experience, what happens is the FBI goes out and interviews a series of people, and then they do a summary of those interviews and any other evidence that those interviews lead them to. So what I think happens next is that the FBI will go out and not just interview the two witnesses that the committee heard from yesterday, but the witnesses who would have been there or could corroborate the evidence that was discussed at yesterday's hearing. But as I'm sure you know, what's different about this is it should have been done before the hearing. What's happened today is the decision to send the FBI out to do its supplemental background check after the hearing has already occurred, which is strange.
I will note that I think it was 13 days ago that Dr. Ford first came forward, and they're doing it in a week. They could have just assented to it in a 1 week timeline back when she came forward.
Exactly. Yeah, that would have made much more sense, and that's how it's supposed to be done. All the examples I've worked on where the FBI was sent back out to do a supplemental background check, it was done well before the hearing so that senators could be prepared for hearing questioning.
Key person here is Mark Judge. This is the big. He's submitted this. He submitted one letter, then he submitted another statement. He's got another statement that says he talks about the allegations in the Swetnick affidavit being categorically denied. He also says the following: I do not recall attending parties during 1981 and 1983 when I fondled or grabbed women in an aggressive or unwanted manner.
He may not remember much because of his alcoholic condition at the time. So it
which
he
cops to and has written about and has been in recovery.
And those are things that the FBI needs to investigate. They also need to investigate when did he work at the Safeway, because that's linked to about 6 weeks after the event, and that's another way of identifying the date. We need to look at Timmy's house from July 1st. The FBI has a lot of things to look at, but that involved Dr. Mark Judge and PJ, and was in the time frame that it could have been. So who is he and where did he live, and does it look like her drawing of the house?
This is the July 1st Kavanaugh calendar. Tobin's house, workhouse, and then go to Timmy's for skis, otherwise known as Brewskis, with Judge, Mark Judge, Tom, PJ, Bernie, and Squee. And we know that PJ and Judge are two of the people that Dr. Ford named. Christine, how quickly can the FBI do this? I mean, let's say they want to talk to 6 or 7 witnesses or 8 witnesses. Can they fly around and get this done the next 7 days?
Well, I think that they can move very quickly, but I also want to make clear, I don't think this investigation is just limited to Dr. Blasey Ford's allegation. Senator Coons and Senator Flake had a colloquy during the committee's markup today, and they said the sexual assault allegations of Dr. Ford and others, the ones that were in front of the committee. So I don't think it's just going to be about that one allegation, and in fact it should not be, because the other 2 credible allegations of sexual assault have not been investigated, and there was no witness to testify to them yesterday.
And I will say, Julie Swetnick's claims, which are really quite remarkable and extremely troubling if true, have been the kind of scope of them, that Kavanaugh and Judge would drug women or spike punch, that there were groups of men that would assault women. That the kind of lurid details have been taken as kind of ipso facto evidence they're ridiculous. And it seems to me this is a great place for the FBI to bear down and do some investigating, because if they are ridiculous or fabricated or all the things that the people accused say, you would want the FBI to do those interviews.
If he were innocent, he would have said in answer to Senator Durbin, yes, I want the FBI to investigate, because that's what innocent people do. The FBI will go out and in impartial way will find out the evidence, they'll find out the facts, and we can all know whether he's telling the truth or whether the 3 women are telling the truth. They may find more women. They should also, of course, interview his college roommate, who said that he was often incoherent and dead drunk, that he bragged about having had sexual conquests, even though he now claims that he was a virgin well into college or for years after. And we need to know these things, not because we have a prurient interest in his life, but because he may be a deciding vote on the highest court of our land, and we need to know who he is. He's already shown that he can lie about a lot of little things, and some of them are really things that give you a clue to his character and to his lying. His pushing back and interrupting and being rude to senators, his questioning Klobuchar, and I think one other senator, maybe Coons, about what they like to drink. Right. Those are clear signs he's evading answers and lying.
All right, Jill Wine-Banks and Christine Lucius, thank you both for being with us.
Thank you.
Up next, how is Dr. Christine Blasey Ford doing? One day after her courageous testimony on Capitol Hill, two of her family members join me next.
The Trump campaign in Russia. Richard Engel investigates a major donor with ties to Moscow.
Do you think that these donations were part of a Russian campaign to help President Trump?
Absolutely.
On assignment, Sunday at 10 on MSNBC. Sunday, we go inside the Trump Tower meeting at the heart of the Mueller investigation and talk to the man who arranged it.
Was the dirt on the Democratic Party and Hillary Clinton forthcoming?
What really happened at the meeting? Sunday at 9 on MSNBC.
In an era of online retail where everything is just a few clicks away, buying a car should be no different. That's why at Carvana, you can buy a car 100% online. We made it easy to browse, view, and buy from over 10,000 cars. You can even trade in your old car, all while binge watching your favorite TV show. Afterwards, we'll deliver your car to you. Or you can pick it up from one of our car vending machines. Either way, your car comes with a 7-day return policy. So grab a seat, relax in your comfy pants, and enjoy the new way to buy a car at Carvana.
If your moderate to severe ulcerative colitis or Crohn's symptoms are holding you back, and your current treatment hasn't worked well enough, it may be time for a change. Ask your doctor about Entyvio, the only biologic developed and approved just for UC and Crohn's. Entyvio works at the site of inflammation in the GI tract and is clinically proven to help many patients achieve both symptom relief and remission. Infusion and serious allergic reactions can happen during or after treatment. Entyvio may increase risk of infection, which can be serious. PML, a rare, serious, potentially fatal brain infection caused by a virus, may be possible. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, experience frequent infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Liver problems can occur with Entyvio. If your UC or Crohn's treatment isn't working for you, ask your gastroenterologist about Entyvio. Entyvio, relief and remission within reach.
This is Vicky. Vicky might not look like a crime-fighting superhero.
Well, what ring she is. Tell us how you did it, Vicky.
Okay. I was home alone at night when I got an alert from Ring there was somebody at my front door. Then I saw this guy, and I said, "Hey, you! Get off my property!"
Then yesterday, that Judge Bret Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her while they were in high school, an accusation Kavanaugh denies. Today, Dr. Ford has turned away from the spotlight back to her life as a professor, a wife, and a mother. I'm joined now by Dr. Ford's sisters-in-law, Sandra Ford Mendler and Deborah Ford Peters, and thank you so much for making some time. The first question that so millions and millions of Americans have is, how is she doing?
Implications for her life, so I really doubt that's getting much attention.
Does she, I mean, I'm sure she knows this, but I also know that she's been preparing, and in this kind of insane, situation, she moved out of her house. Like, what yesterday's testimony meant to millions of people, particularly women, particularly survivors of sexual assault, is she hearing what it meant for people to watch her do what she did yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday was, I think, a really important day for a lot of people, and we've heard from so many people about this, and I know she has also been flooded with people thanking her for coming forward. And I think something that was complex about yesterday was that she came forward. It was a brave thing to do.